Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some really interesting things to go over for the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. We have some potential hints that link Professor Sardo and Turo to the third legendary in the Generation 9 games. We also have a small update on the rumored spin-off game as well. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today, so if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video, and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, let's go over this new potential DLC hint for the Generation 9 games that could link Professor Sardo and Turo, the AI bots, or even the original characters to the third legendary that is again apparently going to be in the DLC. So, it was tweeted out by Light, and they said, "Oh, I see," with like a puzzle piece, because obviously it's like fitting the puzzle together. And yeah, it is basically the battle with Sardo and Turo. Well, I'm not sure about Turo, but definitely with Sardo when it all kind of goes like red and stuff. When you battle her before she sends out the Koraidon. I mean, straight off the bat, this is already linked to the third legendary, this like crystallized dome that you do fight them in, because as you can see, there's like all these hexagonal sort of like shapes and stuff like glistening in the background. And when we go to the actual Scarlet and Violet book, the third legendary does have these kind of like hexagonal kind of shapes and stuff. So this sort of orb or whatever dome that you do, I guess, fight Sardo and Turo in could also be linked to the third legendary, but that's not the DLC hint. So basically, when you go over to the battle and you kind of talk to her, for like split seconds, it starts doing this kind of thing where it sort of like says the lines and also like blocks out the sort of letters and stuff. And it says it here as well. It says like, "You're challenged by Para something Proton Protocol" or something. And then it says the AI Sarda has no intention of fighting anymore. And so this could potentially be like a hint to the third legendary, because obviously in the Scarlet and Violet book, we do actually have the text of this Pokemon the exact same. It's like blocked out certain letters and stuff, which again only seems to happen with the battle of Sarda and Turo, especially because in the actual other book that you find, well, no, it's not really a book, but it's like notes about the third legendary when it's talking about the name of it and stuff. It also blocks out these certain letters as well. And people have kind of come to the conclusion that, you know, it could be something related to the third legendary. Well, we have Isaac here saying, "I don't remember seeing the AI has no intention of fighting. It happens when a name glitches out. It happens for like literally a frame. It's a very split second. You have to be pretty quick to like grab it and stuff and like actually see it." But you know, we got people here saying, "After you defeat the Paradise Protection Protocol, the animation of AI Sarda and Turo is similar to when you defeat a Terramon, where it kind of like sort of explodes with like the light and stuff that comes out of it." And then also some other people kind of saying, you know, "My theory for a while is that the third legendary is the Paradise Protection Protocol because it only activates when Terra Gems overtake the Professor." So again, it could be linked to the third legendary. And again, we do feel like the third legendary is behind a few things in the Generation 9 games. We know it's behind like terrestrializing and stuff, but it could also be behind Paradox Pokemon and stuff like that, especially if the Paradox Pokemon are from imagination and it's from like Heath's imagination or something, and it does create these sort of imaginative creatures and brings them to life. It could be another reason as to why like Sarda and Turo maybe still potentially could still be alive and stuff, and like maybe Heath is potentially still alive. I know that expedition thing happened like 200 years ago, but the way that Pokemon works, we could definitely bring them back. I mean, we've got AZ, who's like years and years and years, thousands of years old, and you know, he's still chilling. So maybe the third legendary could have had something to do with him as well, if there is a link between Kalos and Paldea. I don't know, there's a lot of like food for thought here, but yeah, this definitely could be a link to the third legendary. And again, I think with the DLC of Area Zero, which is again most likely going to happen, I think all these questions will be answered, and I think the third legendary is going to be the root of a lot of different things that we did find in the base Pokemon game. But either way, let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this could be something, especially because it's like, you know, it has no intention of fighting anymore and stuff, like could all be linked to the third legendary? It might not even be evil. Like a lot of people assume the third legendary is like always evil with like Giratina and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, it could be like an actual like nice legendary and stuff. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Let's move over to the kind of speculation about these new spin-off game rumors. So originally it was tweeted out by Eclipse saying, you know, so DLCs aside, which are coming all this year, we'll be blessed with more Pokemon spin-off games. Who's ready for a comeback? So he said that, which again could mean a bunch of different things. I mean, obviously take this with a grain of salt. This doesn't necessarily mean we're definitely getting a spin-off game, because Eclipse has been right and wrong in the past. But yeah, if this is correct and we are actually getting a spin-off game, it could be Detective Pikachu 2, could be a Mystery Dungeon remake, or a remaster or whatever. It could be Pokemon Ranger. You know, we're all praying for like a Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gales of Darkness. When they're talking about this as well, I don't think they're talking about the Stadium games as well, because obviously Stadium is coming back on Nintendo Switch Online. I don't think he's referencing that. But then this was tweeted out by PokeJungle, where he's saying it's a new year with new possibilities. What kinds of spin-off Pokemon games would you like to see announced for 2023? Let us know in the replies. And they use the images of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Ranger, and then Pokemon Coliseum. And Eclipse sort of like quote retweets it, saying like, ugh. So I don't know if that's like an as in like a happy as in like it could be, or like as in like, it's not gonna happen. And obviously the ones that they linked were Mystery Dungeon, Puzzle League, Ranger, and Coliseum. So if this is like reading too much into it, then it probably is. But it could also mean that, you know, these 4 aren't going to be getting the kind of remakes or remasters or whatever in 2023, which is a shame, because these 3 are like, I mean, Puzzle League's a really good game as well. But I think that's on Nintendo Switch Online now, actually. I've definitely saw something about that. But yeah, you know, you never know. It could mean nothing, but, you know, apparently Eclipse knows of this new spin-off game. I wish they'd just come out and tell us, to be fair, because then we'd actually know what we can expect. But it'll probably get announced in February anyway. I think a lot of stuff is going to get announced in February. I think the Pokemon Day Presents is actually going to be quite big. There's going to be the DLC announcement. They're going to be talking about the update patch. They're going to be talking about obviously Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Go, and then if they do announce a spin-off game as well, it will probably be revealed in that. So a lot of stuff to look forward to on Pokemon Day, which again is like less than a month now, which is very, very exciting. But yeah, don't know if this is reading too much into it, but potentially it could. But either way, Eclipse apparently knows about some sort of new rumored remake of a spin-off or whatever. But either way, moving on, we have this to go over as well, which is quite interesting. It was tweeted out by Frank and saying, we've got Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet now. Some of these other colors would be cool for the DLC. So I don't know if this is necessarily like a DLC hunt or whatever, but this was tweeted out in 2015. So it says a long list of unused Pokemon trademarks, including hashtag Delta Emerald. So when we go to the actual image, there is quite a few that have been unused. So we have Pocket Monsters, Topaz, and again, these have all been trademarked, so we could see these at any point or time, because obviously we've had Scarlet and Violet announced now. But yeah, it's Pokemon Topaz, Pokemon Tourmaline or Tourmaline, Pokemon Moonstone, Pokemon Brown, Pokemon Gray. And again, I feel like they trademarked these when they were originally going to make them. Like, I feel like Gray was actually something in the pipeline for Pokemon, but then obviously they went with Pokemon Black and White too. And then we had Pokemon Vermilion, we had Pokemon Purple, which I guess could be related to Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, and then we had Pokemon Crimson, and then we also had Pokemon Scarlet, which of course has now been created, and then we also have Delta Emerald at the bottom. So I don't know if this is anything like DLC worthy, or it could just be like a future Pokemon game they do kind of make. But yeah, I don't really think any of the, like with DLC, it's not like going to be named after it. I mean, it could be named after a color, to be fair, but I don't think it really makes too much sense. Like if we got Pokemon, I guess Crimson or something. It could be like Pokemon DLC Crimson, I don't know, it could be, but very, very unlikely. But yeah, these could all be like a future Pokemon game at some point down the line for sure, because as I've just said, we have already just got Scarlet and I guess Purple for Violet, so that definitely could be something to kind of take in consideration when thinking about like what the next Pokemon games are going to be called. And it looks like they might potentially go back to like colors and stuff as well, like they did with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Moving on, talking about remakes and remasters of old spin-off games, this was posted recently by Nintendo themselves, and obviously it was, you know, Nintendo Everything kind of made an article on it saying GoldenEye 007 arrives on Nintendo Switch Online this week. So why is this interesting for Pokemon? Well, in the Nintendo Direct, when this was originally announced, it was announced on I think it was like September. Yeah, GoldenEye 007 was previously announced for the Switch last September. The news was shared during a Nintendo Direct, and it says a release date has been announced for GoldenEye 007 on Nintendo Switch Online. The Nintendo 64 Classic is now confirmed to be launching on January the 27th, 2023. So it's obviously out now. It'll be offered to all members as part of the expansion pack tier. And then it goes on to say a trailer announcing the release date can be seen below. So why is this interesting? Well, because GoldenEye 007 was actually announced in the same Nintendo Direct as Pokemon Stadium 1 and Pokemon Stadium 2. It says more Nintendo 64 titles are planned to hit Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack in the future. These include Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium, and Pokemon Stadium 2. And so because it's a very easy thing, they just basically have to emulate the game on the Nintendo Switch. I reckon that because this is now out, I think they're going to be saving Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 to announce it or release it on Pokemon Day. I mean, Pokemon Day is less than a month away. These were both announced all at the same time, so obviously they're going to be most likely going to be released around the same time. So I think the fact that this is already out, Pokemon Day is very, very soon. I think Pokemon Stadium 2 and 3 are going to be announced on Pokemon Day, and I think they're going to do that thing where they kind of talk about it like back in September of 2022, we announced this, and then they're going to show it, and then it's going to be like now available later today. So I think we're going to get the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet update patch on Pokemon Day, and I think we're also going to get the Pokemon Stadium 2 and Pokemon Stadium 1 announcement as well as like a release date, or maybe even released at the very end of the Nintendo Direct, or Pokemon Presents, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that is going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider hitting that like button down below. It's trying to 500 likes, really helps out. Leave a comment with everything we spoke about today. There's a lot of stuff that we went over. What do you guys think about this? Think it is a potential hint, or do you think it's just reading too much into it? What do you think the spin-off Pokemon game that's going to apparently come out this year? Again, take it with a grain of salt. And then also, do you think this has anything to do with like a future Pokemon game? And also, do you think Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 is going to get released anytime soon? I think it's going to be Pokemon Day. I think this is a big kind of indication that it is on its way. But that is going to be everything for today's video. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.